Welcome to the presentation on the minor in business economics enrollment information. The agenda for the presentation is as follows. We'll talk about the course requirements for the minor, talk about common issues with regards to stats classes, AP credit, and registering for intro to accounting and finance. Finally, we'll provide you some information about how you can reach us with questions. In terms of the required courses for the minor, there are 5. Principles of micro and principles of macro. So Econ 110, 210 based on whether you're a freshman or an upperclassman, and Econ 120 and 220, same breakdown. There's also a stats course requirement. So some examples are Econ 30340, that's stats for Econ. That's probably the most common one. But also psych stats, biostats, amongst others, also count for the stat requirement for the minor. Finally, the 4th and 5th courses are intro to or fundamentals of accounting or finance. These change names, it seems like every other year. But these are the intro, finance, and accounting courses in Mendoza. So there's some issues related to non-econ stats classes that are worth mentioning. So you take econ stats for your stats requirement, that's fine. That's the most straightforward thing to do. That being said, if your major requires for you to take a stats course, so not econ 30340, you can do a couple things. One is you can count the non-econ stats class towards your major and take an additional econ elective. So for example, if you're a psych major and a business econ minor, you could take stats, or sorry, you could use that psych stats towards your major. Instead of taking an additional stats class to require the business econ minor, you can just take an additional econ elective, something like econ of immigration, environmental econ, money and banking, etc. Just so that you're still satisfying the 5 course requirement. Or you could take an additional elective in your major and count that non-econ stats course towards your minor. So continue with this example of a psych major with a business econ minor. If you choose to, you could use the psych stats towards your minor and take an additional psych elective instead. Both of those are viable options. Also, if you have credit for a non-econ stats course and you're not using it for another major or minor, this can be used as your stats course for the minor. So continue with the psych example. If you took psych stats as a psych major and you decide you no longer want to be a psych major, but you drop the major, but you still have course credit for psych stats that isn't being used for something else, that works fine as counting towards the business econ minor. In terms of AP credit, if you have AP credit for any of the required courses in the minor, you don't need to retake these classes, but you must take an additional elective to replace them. So if you have credit for AP stats or AP micro, you don't need to take stats for econ, you don't need to take principles of micro, and you should instead take an econ elective in its place. Again, as mentioned on the previous slide, it's just got to be the case, the total number of classes that are counting towards the minor and aren't counting towards another major or minor is equal to 5. And then in terms of registering for accounting and finance, there can be issues associated with this. You got to register under the BAAL heading, okay? And so this is BAAL for Business Administration, Arts and Letters. You can search for this directly under a class search. You don't want to search under the FIN or ACCT headings. So if you're registering for accounting, it's not ACCT, whatever the number is, it's BAAL 20100. Finance is BAAL 20150. These are the only 2 classes listed under BAAL, so it's not that confusing. But this is a point of confusion that students try and register under FIN or ACCT, but can't. Finally, if you have any questions, please feel free to email any of the econ department academic advisors. You can go to Notre Dame Econ's website under undergraduate program and advising for more information for any of our email addresses or to book an appointment with an advisor.